Start.
Thank you, Jerry. And thank you, Mr. Elliot Taube, that you accepted our invitation for this interview today. Mr. Elliot Taube is from International Home Marketing Group. And I would like to ask Elliot, if you can explain a little bit about your company and what you're doing before I start the question, if you may.
No, certainly, and thanks for having me today. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. International Home Marketing Group is now heading into its 28th year being around. We are a full-service real estate brokerage, but 98% of our business is all done in the new home space. We work with medium and large-sized developers all throughout the GTA, different parts of Ontario, different parts of Canada, and do some stuff in the United States as well. And we work with these developers to bring their projects to market. We get involved right from the ground up with them when they're purchasing land, helping design product, be it high-rise condominiums or low-rise housing. But really what our specialty is taking it to market, getting it out to the public, the brokerage community, providing the salespeople and the expertise to get these projects sold.
Great. Because we have only 30 minutes, we're going to get right to it right now. So the first question is, how do you see the state of pre-construction condo market right now?
Okay. So pre-construction for our company is divided into two sides. We have a low-rise side of business and high-rise. Up until 2 weeks ago, the high-rise side was absolutely incredible. It was on fire. Every project that we brought out, over the last 12 months, 18 months has sold at such a quick pace. And it didn't matter whether it was in the core of Toronto, Mississauga, Thornhill, anywhere throughout the 905, we're selling quickly. I mean, we used to plan 18 months to sell projects, and now our time frame came, to be considerably sold within the course of a month or 2 months on most of them. So it was really just on fire. Our low-rise side of the business, was finally coming back into full steam. In 2017, when Kathleen introduced the foreign buyers tax and pricing was getting a little out of control, that side of the market really took a nosedive for a long time, but was finally coming back. Prices had recovered. There was lineups at sales offices again, and it was really in full swing. So everything at this point right now, and today as we're having this conversation, we're really at a standstill.
You think any projects, your project or other builders, is going to be canceled or delayed, you think?
If you're talking about overall for projects that we sold and will be canceled, I don't believe so. Everything that we've worked on over the last years is either well under construction, heading towards close, substantially sold with good deposits, zoned, ready to go. That was always a big problem in the past, where developers would come out without having proper zoning or approvals in place. So we're not in that position. Everything that we were working on, and we had a huge pipeline of projects, and we still do, to launch, are really just on a wait and see mode. We were supposed to come out later this month in Oshawa with a low-rise project, on Queen Street downtown in May with a high-rise project. All of those are just, we're waiting for a better date when we understand what's happening with the market to bring them out. But as far as cancellation goes, for anything I'm personally working on, I don't foresee that as an issue.
I hear some of the companies, some builders, they go build new condominium and new detached homes, townhouses around this GTA. They call it new core. Do you have plan to do that, or what do you think about that?
Sorry, can you?
They're focusing around GTA, right? Around GTA, up to Hamilton, Niagara Falls, and Barrie, around GTA, because they said it's cheaper, it's more affordable, and easier to rent, and they're focusing on around GTA. They call it new core, GTA core. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I've had personal success. Our company, a couple of the last projects that we've launched, Exchange District with Camros Corp.
Mm-hmm.
We've just done 1,000 units, 2 buildings in Mississauga. uh, from May of last year until now. So, incredible market. We've just launched the second building with Liberty Developments in Thornhill at Promenade, so Bath, there's north of Steeles. Great 905 locations, selling well. And I think they are doing so well, and we hit with great rents and the pricing uh, with the downtown core, midtown being 1,200, 1,400 bucks a foot. These projects being more in the 800, 900 affordability to get into the market. Investors who are looking for return now getting, almost the same rents there that they are in most 416 locations. So they are great locations.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I was watching, a video podcast from Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard about it or not, but he has a podcast, right? And he wrote a book about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it's a very famous book. Now, he was interviewing a guy named Harry Dent, and they were talking about recession or even depression. I don't know. Do you see that happening?
I gotta say, like, it is too early to tell. We have no idea what the timing, what our marketplace is going to look like when we come out of this. Is this a 2-week, 4-week? How many people are out of work? Like, I could not, predict that
Mm-hmm.
accurately. That's not my area of
Mm-hmm.
expertise. So,
Uh-huh. Okay, so any special, some builders are starting to, they give special incentives. Even the realtors, they give you a special incentive. For example, they said, okay, we changed our deposit structure. Instead of, paying it in, 3 checks or 2 checks in a year, pay first check in $5,000 now, and next check would be 6 months from now. Do you have such an incentive or promotion right now?
well, with all of our sites really at a standstill, and I mean, we are operating. If people want to buy a condominium or they want to buy a house, a new house, we are operating remotely. We will do online appointments. We can do things electronically, DocuSign. So we're not completely shut, but we haven't altered the programs. We haven't altered pricing or anything
Mm-hmm.
at this moment because, again, it is too early. So the incentives that we had coming in, I mean, we had some projects as opposed to a 20% deposit, we were doing 15%. We spread
Mm-hmm.
it out a little bit longer. But we haven't got to the point where we feel we need to incentivize the market to kind of come back, or until we fully understand where the marketplace is going to be.
So there
And
is
for
no, yeah.
developers, I mean, it's really, unless you got to a pre-sale target,
Mm-hmm.
it's sold you 70%, you feel confident in construction. It's really tough for a developer to give those type of incentives. And I wouldn't, personally, it's great for an investor to put that small deposit down, but for a developer to not really understand a client's commitment with only $5,000 down in the next check due in 6 months, or time frames like that, it's really not advisable because you don't really have a great deal. With $5,000, anybody will walk away, but if they have 5%, 10% into the deal, it's a little bit more solid.
Uh-huh. Do you have, because many people, many realtors, they work or they used to work in pre-construction, including myself. I used to work a lot in pre-construction. What do you recommend to them, to how they talk to people to bring them to buy these products pre-construction? Because now people are under pressure, emotional, pressure, financial pressure. How do you, suggest realtors to do their job right now?
Yeah. I mean, we do our best to provide as much detail and information to the realtor community as possible. But it really comes down to due diligence on anybody's part to understand, what are you buying at? What's the dollar per square foot? What's the competition going for? What's resale selling for in the same neighborhood? What's my expected rent or upside? In most places right now, pre-construction is really based more so on capital appreciation, because in our market, which is really different than a lot of major markets where it's built and you can see it, you're buying 3, 4, 5 years out before completion. So historically we're watching great appreciation in certain neighborhoods. But I think, for a realtor to also understand the dynamics of any neighborhood, how much competition is going to be out there. So if a client down the road is not going to live in it, wants to sell it, wants to rent it, how much, like I said, other product is going to be in that neighborhood. The other thing for, realtors to really dive into is the background of a builder. Are they brand new? Have they been around for 20 years? Have they built projects? What are their projects like when they close? To talk to people within the building, how they find the fit, the finish, the customer service. Those are all important areas that, at least when the realtor has that information and they talk to their clients, that they know that this is a great builder, delivers great product, fixes things on time, and has had a great track record of seeing buildings that appreciate. There's stuff in the city that we all thought was going to be wonderful and great and has not held the test of time. And then there's other developers who just keep producing great product.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For buyers or investors, right? We used to, call them, send them email, and meet them, tell them, oh, this project is great, great investment, great location to live, all that. But now people, they are not sure about the future. They are not sure about a month or 2 months in future, right? So we cannot just ignore the situation, right? Say, oh, don't worry about it. Everything is fine. Nothing's going to happen, right? And also, we don't want to scare them as well. We don't want to scare them either. So what is the best way to do it? Not scare them and not to say, okay, don't worry, nothing is happening. How do you approach this?
Well, I mean, it depends on every investor's, level of appetite for risk and for return. Like the one thing, most new projects, and aside from my own, I have very close relationships with most of the builders in the city, most of the other brokerages like myself who support these type of projects, that nothing major is really going to come to the market in the next little while until we see a more clear path of what's happening. When business goes back to normal, it becomes a much different situation. An investor, they have to understand that, yeah, they're going to put 15, 20% of the value of the project down. They have to have that money and know that it's got to be patient for them. Year, 18 months, 4 years, so that's fine. Real estate in the GTA in Canada has been exceptionally buoyant beyond anything else that we've been able to invest in. Unless you have a crystal ball for certain stocks in the stock market, has been one of the most stable pieces out there. We have great immigration, we have a great country, an amazing city. Rentals always do well. There's a lack of rentals out there. But they just have to have an appetite right now to get through, the years of having deposits on the line there.
Do you have any specific project right now going on that you recommend people to buy it, investor or end user right now?
If this was really like 2 weeks ago, when we were sitting at a different time, like the things that I have on the market, like to give you a kind of and your
Mhm,
audience a sense of what we do and who we represent. I would say that the Liberty development at Promenade is an amazing project.
mhm,
Just north of Steeles on Bathurst, it's a redevelopment of an existing mall that has a great storied history. This is going to bring, it's a multi-tower with office, with hotel. If you go online and look for what the future is going to bring to this area, it's multi-tower project, and we're only at Tower 2. So whenever you're into a master plan community like that, and you're buying into those early phases, there's always great capital appreciation. We've seen it everywhere in the city, downtown, at City Place and other neighborhoods like that. I think that's a really great investment. Mississauga, we're right at Square One,
mhm,
which is really the epicenter of Mississauga. Transit, an amazing mall, the growth, the airport, that's a fantastic investment. And then everything that we're bringing out in the city, and I've got stuff coming up with Madison that's down at Church and Richmond, which, the edge of the financial core, a great part of downtown, an amazing location, a great
mhm,
builder. That's going to be out, we were hoping later this year, but it may get pushed to 2021. That's going to be a fantastic investment. We're going out to neighborhoods like Hamilton, Oakville, with some of our other developers,
mhm.
uh, which also give great returns and less competition in those neighborhoods. So you're not competing with as much product there.
Mhm, mhm. Uh, what is your final thoughts about this situation? I mean, generally, because many people, many realtors are confused, many investors and buyers. What's your final thoughts? What should we do right now? From
Well,
the buyer's point of view, from realtors' point of view, what's your final thoughts about this situation?
I think, and everybody's confused. Yeah,
Mhm,
it's. I think that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. That this
mhm,
is not going to clean itself up in the
mhm,
next day or two, a week or two. This could take, uh, weeks, if not months, for us to kind of understand. But real estate as a whole has always been one of the most solid investments out there. All of our developer game knows back, and those first projects that release maybe not at the same price level as they would have been,
mhm,
prior to COVID. So it kind of gives you an opportunity to jump in at what might be a slight discount to the market. Uh, I think for some other investors out there right now, or purchasers, that there could be some great opportunities for assignments and people who are looking to get out of the market,
mhm,
get some of their deposit money back so that they have proper cash flow. So for somebody who's in a more stable financial position, I would, definitely have my realtor on the line and have them looking for those type of opportunities.
mhm,
But real estate has had its ups and downs and ups and
mhm,
downs, but it historically has been, the greatest investment that anybody in
mhm,
the GTA has made.
mhm,
So there's patience, and then there's looking for those right opportunities and to be educated when they're coming out. And the one thing that we, will definitely, and again, I don't have crystal balls, and uh, if I always knew the answer, I'd probably be in a different business. But interest rates and mortgage rates are
mhm,
going to be low for a long, long time.
mhm,
So carrying costs will, regulate and be attractive for
mhm,
people.
mhm. So if anybody wants to buy one of your products, do they have option to do it online? I mean,
Oh yeah, 100%,
100%.
100%. We've been working. All of our sales offices have contact to our sales teams. Websites that will show all the product. We can show availability, get you pricing for anything specific. Do all of our documents digitally so that nobody has to. And everybody right now
Mhm,
is is uncertain to be in, unfamiliar environments or to be face to face with anybody. So you can do it from the comfort of your home, DocuSign. We can take care of everything. That you never have to leave your house if you choose not to. You've got our website, ihmg.ca. It links to every project that we have. And they said we're doing stuff from Oshawa to Oakville, Aurora, right down to the lake right now. And, you can buy in any of those projects right now. They're not shuttered by any means. We have some stuff that's also close to completion. Got one site in South Pickering, some amazing detached houses, as well as townhouses that if somebody needs something that's not typical pre-construction is always, low rise 18 months and high rise 4 years. If you're looking that you need something for this fall or something, we have, inventory that people can move into.
How about the deposit checks? They mail it to you, or how do they?
We, for deposits, we will ask with some of our developers where we can do a basic credit card hold. If not, what we'll do is we'll just have people mail us the checks or courier us the checks. So again, we want to make it as easy and seamless as possible for people.
Perfect. Hopefully we can pick your brain in future as well if you
anytime. This is fun. I love this. And
sure.
I really appreciate reaching out and inviting me on today.
You're welcome. So that was great interviewing you. That great insight, and hopefully we see you again. And if you have any more suggestion, we can say it now because we have a couple of minutes, and otherwise we can say goodbye. And thank you so much that you joined us.
My pleasure. And again, anything you need, anything your team needs, reach out to us, and we're happy to help and answer whatever we can the best we can. And next time we do this, let's hopefully that we're face to face, having coffee together, and instead of far away. But this is a great way of doing it. And I have to say that 90% of my meetings that are normally face to face have all been done this way. So. Again, thanks, Pat, and thanks for setting this up.
Thank you, and stay safe, healthy, and positive.
That's it. All right. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Elliot.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.